Hi everyone, welcome to my next video. If you hear a strange noise in the background, that's the ocean. And I'm at a very popular park, and there are many tourists up here. I can tell by the parking lot. And hopefully everyone's taken the trail along the ocean. And that's why I chose this one, so I can let Sheppy run loose. And if I do encounter hikers, then I'll just have to stop the video and piece it together in various different videos. And today I'm going to talk about something that someone in the comment section mentioned yesterday, and I found it fascinating. And he was referring to when I received a heart-wrenching text message from my daughter 5 years ago, and how devastating that was and how crushing that was to me and my very soul. And he called it the darkness of the soul, or something like that. I don't remember now. And so I Googled it, and apparently Carl Jung has quite a lot to say about that. And so I started listening to him last night, and I was just astounded because I'm going to share, I think it's called Dark Night of the Soul is what it is. And it's a transformation focal point, and I really do believe that. And so I want to talk about that and how trauma really, I believe, does have a purpose in our lives. And tragedy also does. And I look back over all the things I've been through, and I really believe that I was meant to experience all of those things because I'm transformed now into the person with insight and knowledge and wisdom. And I would not have all of this insight had I not experienced so much trauma. And I'm very interested to hear if any of you, what your thoughts are on that, and if you feel similar. So let's go check out this trail. And again, I think most of the hikers are following the trail along the ocean. And of course, Maggie's tangled up. Come on, Max. Get untangled, Max. Come on. Excuse me for... And the dark night of the soul. That's what it's called. And when I was listening to one of the many videos about this, as Carl Jung was talking, it was so packed with really important information. I could only watch about 20 minutes of it. And I plan to watch it over and over and over again because it's so intense. My little brain has to struggle to comprehend it all in one sitting. And so I really look forward to talking more about this because many of us are wondering, why did I have to go through that? Or why did this bad thing happen to me? Or referencing my last video, life isn't fair. And I said in that video, I don't believe life is supposed to be fair. And I have never said this before, and this is one reason I love my channel, because I never shared much about these very, very insightful things I always kept to myself. And I love sharing them now. And one of them is that I always believed I was meant to live the life I lived. Ever since I was a little girl, I always believed that I was meant to go through the trauma of my family, and that my bad choices were leading me to something, even though I didn't know at the time what all of those bad choices were leading me to. And I guess you could sort of talk about walking along a path like this. And I'm sorry, Sheppy has to pee everywhere. And now Maggie's going to. But it's kind of like instead of questioning why bad things happen to you, I always looked at them as not even challenges, but teaching me to be more perseverance, to persevere, and to keep looking for whatever it is I was looking for, even though I didn't know what it was, but what I was looking for was me. And I hope that makes sense, because we all make mistakes, but I think we're supposed to. I think we're supposed to make mistakes because mistakes will lead us to a place where next time we won't make the same mistake. And if we hadn't have made that mistake, then we wouldn't have learned. And I really do believe now, looking back over my life of 70 years, and I hope my microphone works okay because it's going to be very windy up here. And I've never been on this trail, and I think it's going to be beautiful. I think I was destined to live my life. And I'd be really curious to hear if any of you feel the same way. Because I don't look at my life as one mistake after the other. I look at it as, oh, this does go along the ocean. I look at it as an experience that I was brought here for whatever reason to experience. And, oh, this is gorgeous. Look at this. And it's not all that warm, but it was sunny at the cabin, so all I'm wearing is a t-shirt. But it's a great day to go hiking. Sheppy, come on. And if we see people, I'll have to put Sheppy on a leash, because I think there are quite a few people up here. Come on, Max. And I look back now on my life and how I really had many, many dark moments. Yet, I kept going. And that night that my daughter texted me that if I ever contacted her again, she'd get a restraining order. If you haven't seen that video, Sheppy, no! Come here! Sheppy, no! Come here! That was probably one of the very darkest moments I've ever encountered. And I mentioned in that video that I have not cried since. And that was a turning point. And it was a moment where I found new strength. And I found the strength that I didn't know I had before. And I found that I could accept something that was hurtful and was devastating, and I learned that I was going to still be okay. And I think that's what these dark moments of the soul are all about, because we don't know to what extent we can face something until we face it, right? And I might put Sheppy on a leash. I don't want him going close there. Come on, Max. And so if you look at something that you've faced in your life, a very, very, very dark moment, ask yourself, how did it transform you? Are you still grieving that dark moment? And if you are, maybe that's not such a bad thing, because you're still transforming yourself into that self that's going to realize that you're going to be okay, because you don't know what tomorrow will bring. And I look back and I really do believe that, and that maybe we are here to suffer so we can evolve, not spiritually, I don't know if that's even appropriate, but our purpose is to ascend to a clarity that we know is there, but we don't know what it is. Does that make sense? And I really believe that. We're going to go up this way. Sheppy, come on. I've never been up this trail either. I really believe that. And I believe that we all intuitively know that there is a greater something, and we're trying to find our way back. I really do. And our way back might be through suffering. Because imagine a world where everything... Oh, I'm out of breath. Oh, I wish you could smell the pine trees. Oh, smells like Christmas. Imagine a life where everything always is perfect. And maybe we're headed that way with AI and all of this false reality that the digital world is forcing upon us. How boring is that going to be? And where is that going to lead us? It's going to lead us to complacency, to boredom, and to uselessness. And I think that's the biggest problem. Because through suffering, we learn to understand how others feel when they suffer. And through understanding what emotional and physical pain really feels like, we can feel more empathetic, hopefully, for others who have gone through or are going through the same thing. And I think that's what's happened to me. And I believe that I was supposed to experience all the trauma that I experienced so I could share what I've learned in my older years. And it's more of a thinking, it's a knowing. And it's really a hard thing to describe. And I look back at all the things that I thought went wrong. Excuse me. But maybe they went wrong because they were supposed to go wrong. And maybe if you're in the midst of trying to reconcile with something that has gone horribly wrong, maybe it's gone wrong for a reason. And I think we might have hikers behind us, so we might be turning around. Maggie just growled, so I'm hoping it's a person and not an animal. Come on, Max. Come on. Don't know. She is really staring at something. She never does this. Come on, Max. And I plan to watch more of Carl Jung. And I don't necessarily automatically agree with anything anyone says. But something about this dark night of the soul really rang true with me. And I recognized this sense of transformation. And how many times can we transform? I don't know. Does it take many lifetimes? Maybe. But I find this all incredibly fascinating and a very uplifting way to look at past trauma and present trauma. And especially if you're experiencing something presently. Well, here's a little sign. Bug trail. Let's go this way. I've never been up here. Come on, Chip. And I think all the tourists are down by the ocean, so this is great. And if any of you have thoughts about this dark night of the soul, I would love to hear it because I'm fascinated. It gave me a whole new perspective on the meaning of life and the meaning of mine. And why did I think when I was a very little girl that I was following a plan that someone else had planned for me? And I've always had that sense that I was predestined to face the darkness in many forms throughout the years and persevere to learn my own power. Isn't that something? I really believe that, and I think that is really cool. And maybe that's why I never felt like I was a victim. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, this moss. I never felt like I was a victim, no matter what. Maggie's still looking behind us. She never does that. Come on, Max. And I always felt like, not that I deserved to be treated badly, but that I could deal with it. And that I was meant to deal with it. And that sounds strange, but that's true. So, this is beautiful. Very, very interesting kind of moss. If it is moss. Now this is October 7, 2025. So the forest is getting ready for winter. And it can be very extremely windy here, which is why all of these dead trees are hanging down. And there's the something beard, someone told me this is called. And I think we can understand the meaning of life if we take the time to really look within ourselves and listen to our own true voice and believe in what our own true voice says. And I think there's some kind of a pond down there. Come on, Chip. So we're going to end this here because some people are coming. I think we'll actually turn around. Chippy, come on. We're going to go this way. So I'd be really interested in any of your comments about this dark night of the soul, because I had never heard of it until this commenter mentioned it. And I'm sorry, I don't remember who you are, but I believe you are absolutely right. Because I am not the same person, or rather, I'm more myself since 2020 when I received that devastating text. And it wasn't so much that one moment, but it was a moment after accumulation of very, very dark nights. And it was the last bit of darkness that I had to overcome, I believe. And I believe that my life was a training ground, in a sense, so that I could be as insightful as I am now. I really do, and I think that is incredibly amazing. I love it. And it makes me wonder, what am I going to learn tomorrow that I thought I knew today, but I really didn't until I think about it more. So, oh, Sheppy wants the squirrels. I don't know why they tease him. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear, I do not really follow Carl Jung. Of course I know about him, but I plan to listen to him more, because there are quite a few videos with his teachings, and I really look forward to seeing what more insight I can gain from listening to him, and consider how it applies to me and how it might apply to you. So I am always going to be a very positive force, regardless of darkness that might still come my way. I always have been, and I always will. And I learned my strength as a child, knowing that I was going to be okay no matter what. And how did I know that? I don't know. I just knew. And when you feel strong in your own convictions, you will be all right no matter what. And I just think that's an incredibly empowering way to look at life. Now, there were many times when I did doubt myself, and I wasn't sure that I would be all right. But those were temporary moments, and I always regained my strength again. And so I hope you enjoyed this very bizarre scenery. And the ocean is over there, and it's a very foggy day, so you can't see much. But this is a very interesting forest. Now these, I believe, they're all pine trees, and they easily topple over. And since this is on the coast of Maine, the storms have just ripped them apart. But the new ones are growing. So there you go. Devastation and new life, right? So thanks so much, everyone, and I hope you're all having a really great day.